On the day that the UK Parliament debates the new European Treaty, a day of action has been called by the European Trade Union Confederation against the treaty.
We are here a delegation of European Trade Union from Great Britain, from France and from Germany. We want to say stop to the austerity, and we shall make this now all around Europe.
The new treaty, what was concluded in January, now imposes for the next 10-20 years a massive austerity measures to public spending, and that does mean that cuts which are already in place are becoming more and more severe, because over a long time that does mean that not only job losses but also the quality of public service and everything related to public spending is now under threat. And we have the concern that there will be deep depression in Europe, and also that it is improving radical and right-wing tendencies in political sphere, because everybody is more and more opposing to the European idea, and this is one of our big concerns.
Billy Hayes, CWU General Secretary, who is the TUC spokesperson on Europe, joined forces with French trade unionist Didier Ott and German trade unionist Claudia Mene, handing a letter at the French, German and Greek embassies in London to warn them of the union's fears about the consequences for working people and their families if the new treaty goes ahead.
Well, the policies that are being introduced in Greece are not getting Europe out of the crisis that it's in, and we need a budget for growth in Europe. So as TUC spokesperson on Europe, I'm here today supporting the work of the TUC, Owen Tudor from the TUC, people from sister unions in Germany and France.
We want to show to the embassy in the German embassy here in London, that we are very much concerned about the way Germany is behaving on austerity measures, imposing austerity measures to the whole of Europe, and we want to call for alternatives for job security and decent works.
In France we have had a reform, so-called reform against pension retirement schemes that cuts many of the benefits perceived by the workers, that will oblige the workers to work longer and wait to retire. So obviously the things are changing, not in the better way, and that's what we want to stop now all over Europe.
Unions argue that the treaty is unfair, undemocratic and will create a downward spiral of unemployment and debt.
The letters are saying that we are, as trade unionists, convinced of the European idea, that we have to stick together and we need this European unity, and we want to keep this European unity, but not only with regard to economic governance based on austerity, but in a positive approach to the European idea. And therefore we said we need alternatives, we need growth, we need employment, and we need investment programs, especially also for the youth who are very much faced with unemployment all over Europe now.
The treaty will tie the hands of individual governments, preventing them from doing anything to boost growth and jobs during economic downturns.
I think at least we must let know to all the government of Europe that we don't accept these policies, and now it's a first move, of course, and we know that things are very difficult due to the crisis, but we don't want the worker pay for the crisis they have not created. In fact, the financial burden cannot be supported by the workers all over Europe, and we want to begin to say no, it's time to stop that, and enough is enough.
In the UK, the government's decision to walk out of discussions of the new treaty, while supporting its objectives of cutting public spending and services, has left British people without a voice in those negotiations. The TUC is urging people to email the ambassadors of the 25 countries whose governments are still involved in the discussions, setting out why the treaty would be so damaging for workers, employers and communities across Europe.
There is an alternative austerity, there is an alternative to job cuts and deflation, and that is it. Alternative is about growth, growing the economy of the UK and growing the economy of Europe.